You've seen them, right? All those videos promising you'll make a fortune with AI. How real is any of it? Well, I decided to just cut through all the hype and run a simple test. Could I actually, for real, make money on Fiverr using AI starting with absolutely $0? I documented my entire 7-day journey, and today I'm going to show you every single step. And this right here is the core problem. There's so much talk about making money with AI, but you almost never see any real proof. You see these screenshots of huge earnings, but you never see the actual process. You know, the struggles, the moments of doubt. This is going to be different. I'm showing you everything. The good, the bad, and the actual honest results. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Day one was all about getting set up. The main rule of the game was to do this with no initial investment. We're talking only free tools and AI to get this thing off the ground. The setup was shockingly fast. First, I made a free Fiverr account. Then, instead of agonizing over how to write the perfect gig description, I just asked ChatGPT. I gave it a few prompts for services like blog post writing and social media captions, and it just delivered. I'm not kidding. In under an hour, I had 3 professional-looking gigs live and ready to go. So after a super optimistic and productive first day, day 2 was, well, it was the exact opposite. This is the part of the story most people just skip over. That moment where you hit a wall of total silence and you start thinking, oh man, did I make a huge mistake? This pretty much captures the feeling perfectly. After all that excitement on day 1, day 2 was just crickets. Nothing. No messages, no views, and definitely 0 orders. I was just sitting there waiting, wondering if this whole experiment was just a complete waste of time. A big, fat 0. You know, it's easy to stay motivated when you're busy setting things up, but it's the silence that really tests your patience. Honestly, it felt like I was just shouting into an empty room. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, I really did almost quit. The thought of just deleting the account and calling it a failure was so tempting. That immediate self-doubt, it's so common when you start something new. And honestly, it's often the biggest thing holding you back. But then, right when I was about to throw in the towel, something happened. The whole story took a sharp turn on day 3, and everything shifted from total despair to this tiny little glimmer of hope. Now, it wasn't an order, just a message, but it was proof. Proof that someone, somewhere out there in the world, had actually seen my gig. That one small interaction completely flipped my mindset. It told me this experiment wasn't dead in the water just yet. Then, on day 4, that little message turned into my very first order. It was just a small $5 task, and the process couldn't have been simpler. I took the client's request, popped it into the AI tool, cleaned up the output to make sure it was good, and delivered it. The whole thing took maybe 15 minutes tops. And there it is, the first $5. Look, I know it might not seem like a lot, but let me tell you that was the most important money I made all week. It was validation. It was proof that the basic idea, using AI to do the work on Fiverr, actually worked. From that point on, everything changed. So that first order proved the concept worked, but I knew I couldn't just sit back and rely on luck. It was time to get strategic. So on days 5 and 6, I focused on taking what I learned and actually optimizing my gigs to bring in more clients. So I went back to the AI, but this time I was using it for marketing. I asked it to come up with more compelling, SEO-friendly titles. I had it analyze my descriptions and suggest keywords that real buyers might actually be searching for. I was basically using AI to sell the service, not just do the work. And here's a perfect example. Instead of a really generic keyword like article writer, the AI suggested something more specific, like SEO blog post writer. Why? It explained that clients are often searching for that exact phrase. It seems like a small change, but that simple keyword swap made a huge difference in how many people saw my gig. So after a week of setting up, doubting myself, getting that first order, and finally optimizing, it was time. Time to tally up the results and answer the big question. Did this experiment actually work? This is what it all comes down to, right? We started with $0, a free Fiverr account, and a couple of free AI tools. So what was the actual real money result after one full week? Let's break it down. Here's the full transparent journey. You can see the slow start, 0, 0, 0, and then that first $5 on day 4. And as those optimizations started to kick in, you can see the daily income started to climb. It wasn't some massive explosion of cash, but it was clear, steady progress. And the grand total after 7 days? $45. Is that life-changing money? Of course not. But remember, this was from zero investment and only took a few hours of total work across the whole week. As a proof of concept, that's a huge success. But the final dollar amount, believe it or not, isn't the most important lesson here. There's a really crucial insight, kind of a big twist that you absolutely need to understand if you're thinking about trying this yourself. And here it is. This is not a passive income machine, okay? You still have to talk to clients, you have to manage orders, you have to do some of the work. But because AI handles like 90% of the heavy lifting, it is without a doubt one of the easiest, most beginner-friendly ways to make your first dollar online. It pretty much removes all the usual barriers to getting started. So we've walked through the entire process, the highs, the lows, and the real numbers. The question isn't whether it works. I think we've proven that it does. The real question is for you. Could this be the simple, straightforward first step you've been looking for to start your own online journey?